What's up, everybody? Hey, this is Eric Tippett. Are you making money with the new tax laws, or are you losing money with the new tax laws? I think that is the question of the 2018 that at least I keep getting. That everybody's asking. You have your Rocket Recruiting app that has, in there a calculator and the power of owning and running your home business. How is that affected with these new tax laws? And so, I'm not a tax advisor, and I want to make sure that you cut through all of the chaos and all of the clutter that's going on in the social media, acting like people understand the tax laws and trying to break it down for the everyday person asking these questions. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to bring the expert onto a call, and I want to ask these questions. I want to make sure that you understand, as an entrepreneur, and especially as a home business owner, or you're in direct selling, network marketing, what are the benefits of being a self-employed entrepreneur? And so I want to welcome today on our call the expert and a partner of mine, Mr. Tom Bass. He is the CEO of Accountable Solutions, a full-service tax preparation company here in Southern California. But this is the major thing I want you to know, is that when you say, hey, a CPA, this is the biggest thing that I commonly hear, that all CPAs or all EAs or tax preparers, they're all the same, right? And it's funny, Tom just schooled me on this, because he said, well, are all doctors the same? Can I go into a foot doctor, and because he's a doctor, can I go get a foot doctor to do open heart surgery? So you need to understand that all CPAs or tax advisors, tax professionals, they're not all the same. So Tom is an enrolled agent, an EA. He's been over 20 plus years as an EA. And, he and his partner, Rhonda, they've been in direct sales for, 50 years, 40, 50 years. So, a couple years in his 20s and his 30s. So, but he's been focused on home business taxes and understanding the tax benefits of a home-based business. And so I want to just share with you this fact. An enrolled agent, so CPAs and enrolled agents take 16 hours in training and classes. And with that, an enrolled agent, 100% of those are on taxes. So that's all they do, is they are the tax experts. Where CPAs on their test, they have one essay question talking about the philosophy of tax. So it's one essay question. So they don't focus on taxes in particular. Where an enrolled agent, that's exactly what they study for and what they focus on as their unique, specific niche. So I felt like no better person to get on a call today and really ask these questions as a tax expert. So Tom, welcome to the call today.
Hey, good to be here with you, Eric.
Awesome. So I figured we'll just kind of jump right in. A lot of people, I've been getting these questions. I've been doing these Zoom meetings in these groups, and people are going, man, I hear that the tax benefits, benefit me. Is it still the case? And this is one question with Rocket Recruiting. We had many people say, your calculator, is it still beneficial with the new tax laws, and does it benefit me? So let's maybe just start off in more of a general stroke, as far as, what do you see as far as the new tax laws, and as a self-employed entrepreneur, a home business owner, how do you see it impacting them?
Well, the first thing I tell people is that more than likely you're going to experience at least one negative aspect from the new tax laws and one positive, just as a general statement. But in terms of direct sellers and we literally, as you indicated, specialize in that. We have clients in all 50 states. Um, there's not really any big drawback from the laws that is going to be as far as the business itself. The only thing in there that is going to impact us, and to me, it's not even going to be a really significant amount, is when they talk about the meals and entertainment. They're separating the entertainment portion from the meals. We're still going to be able to deduct meals when we travel overnight, and I've heard a lot of so-called experts, and particularly on Facebook, that have just put out a lot of misinformation, either from just pure ignorance or not actually delving into it, because the type of reports you get from the media, they really are misleading to a great extent. So as far as separating it, we're still going to be able to deduct 50% of the meals, whether you're traveling or you're taking out a client, and even in a local setting. And the entertainment and that's just like buying tickets to a sporting event or to a concert or something like that, where it's typically you buy tickets for somebody and you don't even go with them. It's just something you give them as an incentive, or kind of a gift, so that there's the human nature that, well, now I owe you something. You invite somebody over for dinner, and now you're expected to that you're going to get an invitation. It's like giving somebody a gift and thinking you're going to get one in return. So
you got it. And so, one thing I want to mention to everybody, and this is, I've talked a lot about on videos, mastering the irresistible offer, right? Like, what's an irresistible offer? And, when you're so focused on product, you give people the ability to say no, because like, hey, I've got a skin cream, and hey, I want you to buy my skin cream. Well, I already have skin cream. So, I don't want your skin cream. But when you start talking about tax benefits, and you start saying, hey, have you ever wondered how much you're losing on every paycheck by not having a home business? You start what you're creating is this openness of, wow, how much am I losing? I never even looked at it that way. How much am I losing? And so the reason why we talk about these tax benefits, and why it's been so powerful, being connected and partnered up with Tom and Rhonda, is that's what they've been preaching for years, is that everyone needs a home business. Everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. That's what sparks the economy. And so as Tom's talking right now, I want you to understand these are very positive. These new tax laws are extremely powerful and positive for the self-employed, and really, another reason why everyone needs a home business. So in your direct sales business, focusing on product, but also focusing in on the benefits of the tax benefits of being a home business owner also. Now, you had mentioned earlier, L'Oreal, going in and talking to somebody. I thought it was interesting, because when we talk about sharing the message of tax benefits, you gave an example of going into Nordstrom's. Can you share that story?
Sure. Well, one of my clients is the regional director for L'Oreal Cosmetics, and one of her employees was saying that they felt like they needed a new tax person. So she came into my office, and basically the story was that she and her husband both have W-2 income. They had their home was rental, and so they really had no significant tax write-offs at all. So I was asking her, as I typically do, well, what do you do to make extra money? Because most people in Southern California need more money. And she said, well, there was nothing. So I started asking her, well, what do you know about direct sales? And she said, oh, well, people are always asking me to sign up for something. And as far as I'm concerned, it's just a scam. So we continued to talk. And by the time she left, she acknowledged, well, maybe getting in direct sales would be a way we could save enough money to make a down payment on a house, because that's what we really want to do. And we don't, our jobs are not ones that we could significantly make, more money. So anyway, I proceeded to tell her about several companies that we work with, and she said, well, she'd get back to me. She wouldn't commit to I said, I can call people that are 7-figure income earners that would be glad to have you on their team, because she had a great personality, very attractive gal, young, uh, obviously was not intimidated by talking to people. That's what she did for a living. But what she also revealed to me is that she really doesn't like what she does, but the pay's good. So I don't think she got home till she texted me back on the phone and said, I'd like you to refer me to one of those people that you mentioned. So I did, and the lady would happen to be a 7-figure income earner here in Southern California, Orange County, and she sent her a really nice letter and said, email, and said basically, I've been looking for some people to work with on a really close basis, and Tom said he thinks you'd be good, so let's talk.
Woo! You guys, how powerful is that? To me, that's rejection free. It's resistance free. Like, hey, are you open to making some extra money, or how are you making some extra money? Or is this kind of your whole world right here? What you find is that perception is not reality. Meaning most people that you think have the perfect life, the perfect job, the perfect this, they're searching. They're looking for new things. Most people are always open. And when you start to talk about these tax benefits, what I have realized, and it's blown me away, is that so few people understand what's going on and how to benefit from the tax strategies or tax benefits that they just don't do it. It's like you don't know what you don't know. So that's why this is so powerful. And it's funny, I've had many experiences like that. Hearing Tom, as we were talking, have that same experience. It's just by opening somebody's eyes to they might be losing some money. How can we help put some more money in your pocket and get you, either a side income, something that you start to build on the side, or a full-time switch into something maybe you're more passionate about. So I wanted to do this. I wanted to share my screen, and I wanted to go into Rocket Recruiting. And many people talked about the tax savings calculator. So if you've never gone into Rocket Recruiting, we built this as a simple tool to quantify and make it to where people can see what it might mean to them to be in a home-based business, what it might mean to them in tax benefits if I do join a home-based business. So we wanted to make it very simple. Our version 2.0, we've created videos you can share with people that tell this story. We've got tools and training from top network marketing and direct selling experts. We've got new leads, phone verified leads. That's extremely powerful. Everybody's looking for an alternative way to keep leads coming in. But I wanted to go through. We've even got an action accountability partner in here that tracks doing 5 actions a day, working on your business. But I wanted to go into here and go through each one so Tom can talk about them, and if there's any difference as far as benefits in that section. So as we would walk in, so for instance, if I was in front of somebody like the girl at L'Oreal at the counter, and I said, have you ever wondered maybe how much money you're losing by not being in a home-based business? Here, let me plot a little calculator, and in a couple minutes, I can show you what that number might be. So I took it from this fluffy, tax benefits where people are like, I don't even know what that means. Is it a dollar? Is it a million? Is it next year? When can I take it? And so very quickly, I can walk them through a few categories and then calculate. So let's go through number one. So I'd say, hey, your home or office, what do you spend monthly? Is there any benefit, an increase or decrease in the home office deductions?
No, not at all, and not in the deduction itself.
All right. What about business vehicles or mileage?
Well, it's going to go up 1 penny per mile to 54.5.
Awesome. So that's going up more per mile. And again, you guys, if you're in a home business and you're not taking, these benefits, just think of what Tom just said. What'd you say, 54?
Right. It's almost 55 cents. So.
55 cents. Just think of it as every 2 miles, you're throwing $1 out the window. I mean, think of that. You're sitting here working your business, but yet you don't understand how to make sure that you maximize or optimize your business and all of the benefits of it. But yet you're driving over to meet a new prospect and you're not tracking that. And you just think of every 2 miles, you're throwing out $1 out the window.
Well, you can even make it stronger than that, because basically what we try to get people to understand is that anytime you're outside of your home, there's virtually nothing you can be doing that doesn't have a business connotation or business intent to it. And it's just like if you are going to the market on the way home from work, you're not going there because you need, milk and eggs or whatever the wife or your spouse asks you to bring. You're going there to meet somebody. If you're in the health and beauty business, then you go down the health and beauty aisle and say, oh, I've got some higher quality products than that. My cosmetics are made in Switzerland. They're, pharmaceutical grade. We don't have any fillers in there. You get a lot, they'd be just a lot more effective. If you'd be interested, give me a call. I don't care if they throw your card away or insulted or whatever. Now that made that a business trip.
Ooh! Did you hear that? Ooh, that's powerful. That's the first time I've heard that. That's actually great. I mean, making every destination, you're talking to somebody. Again, going back to taking 5 actions on your business every day, consistency. What Tom just said right there, that's powerful, because it gives you the ability to start to have intent, that everywhere you're going, you have an intent to make one new connection.
Well, and how many people do we know that they make at least one stop at, at a coffee place? I hate to, give away the names, but same idea. Even if you go into a Starbucks and your intent is to meet somebody, and there's nobody there, and you buy a latte instead, and the barista can't even speak English, it's still deductible because that was your intent. That's the reason you went there.
Oh, I love it. Extremely powerful, you guys. This is a huge tax benefit of being a self-employed, being an entrepreneur. So I hope you guys are writing that down. That's extremely powerful to start making those different stops tax deductible. Awesome. So what about we put business travel? Many people. And I think it was you, Tom, that said to me, I don't ever take vacations. I take business trips and it's probably stemmed from exactly what you just said. I don't go to the grocery store. I go in and I talk to people. I make a contact there. So as far as business travel, when people say I'm going on vacation, to me, you're going on a business trip. You should have the intent to go and build your business anywhere in the world that you go. So maybe elaborate a little bit more on this one. Is there any changes?
Well, there's actually no changes, but the one thing that we've been through audits, and it's a great story and it doesn't work every time, but I actually had an individual that was selling cosmetics, full-time job. His wife didn't work. He had 4 little daughters, very young, preschoolers, and they're getting audited. And he called me and said, they're trying to disallow thousands of dollars in deductions, so you need to take it over. Well, basically, the auditor said, well, he pretty well proved all of the expenses. I mean, he had proof. That's not the problem. The problem is you let him go to Hawaii. He stayed 10 days, spent $7,500, took his wife and 4 little girls, and you let him charge the whole thing off. She said, we just can't do that. And I said, well, let's think about that a minute. I said, I guarantee you when he got off the plane, the stewardesses on that flight in Hawaii, we're going to have a facial that night in the hotel. And he was talking about how much fun that was going to be. And if they didn't want to do that, he was saying, well, we're going to have a party when we get back to Seattle because that's your home base. And I said, go look up on the internet at that resort. That's a huge resort. There's hundreds of chaise lounges out there. Can't you see all those ladies out there the next day, elbow to elbow in the chaise lounges under the palm trees? And here he comes walking down the aisle between them. He's talking about how his products are pharmaceutical grade and great ingredients and on and on and on. And there's the little girls with the samples, and his wife's there with the brochures. I said they're a marketing machine, 24/7. You don't make 160,000 in commission at 30% markup, selling one tube of lipstick to individual ladies one at a time. That takes a lot of time. And she said, I agree, it does. Same thing, arguments. They went to Cancun 3 months later. She let me keep both of those trips, 100%.
Oh, wow.
The reason is because what you're really trying to point out to people is the choice you get to make is, as an auditor, is, okay, you can disallow that. You get a little extra tax this year, but you're also taking away from him his secret sauce. That's what he does to make more money and pay you more taxes. So do you want a little more tax now or less for years to come until he figures something else out, if he's even able to? And I didn't have to explain to him about I was spinning it just like a lawyer does. I didn't explain to him about his downline and these, hundreds of people that he got an override on their commissions. But it's a good story and it makes sense. And that to me is really what an audit comes down to. It's like having the right person that understands the business, that can spin it in a way that it makes it legitimate.
Well, and I think you hit it on the head. If you didn't understand direct sales, you would have never been able to explain that.
No, most people,
an H&R Block, like I walk in off the store and they basically ask me for my numbers. They really don't care about me. They just see, here's my number. We're going to plug them into the thing. And there you go. But you get an audit. I mean, who's there to help you? Exactly what you just said is that, to me, auditors, these are everyday people. These are normal people. And they're not stupid. It's like you've got to show them that you truly have a business. You're truly working that business, and show them that common sense. That I'm actually making money doing something, or even if I'm not making money, I'm working the business, and it has the potential.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right. So on meals and entertainment, we talked about that briefly. As far as meals, still, it's 50% is deductible, but entertainment is the one that if you're just gifting, like Tom had talked about, the sports, the box seat at sports, that's something that's been taken away.
Yes, 100%.
Got it. So the reality, so I look at this, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but anytime that I'm going to, talk about the business, I typically will do it around like a luncheon or a dinner time, or go out and have a cup of coffee. And so typically meals is the major thing for me. When you talk about entertainment, it's very, very, well, I guess there has been definitely times, but meals, I think, is a major portion of when I'm talking about business. Is that kind of what you see?
That's exactly what I see. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and especially in China, they don't do anywhere but eating and around a table. So it's all deductible. All right. Then general office deductions. So like telephone, internet, supplies, marketing materials, things like that.
All of that's still 100% deductible. And in fact, the way we look at a business, every business, whether it's a product or a service, is literally a marketing business. So there's a lot of things you can do that when we're categorizing and actually do the bookkeeping, that's our biggest category, because whether you're buying leads or your website or your telemarketing or direct mail type advertising, all those things are marketing, and it even goes into the way you answer the phone. It's just the way you treat people. So
you guys, everybody that's watching this, please understand, whatever business you're in, home business, small business, mediums, whatever business you're in, this is something that I see many people, they don't quite grasp this. What Tom just said right there, your tools. So Rocket Recruiting, this is a tool to help you in your business, is tax deductible. Leads that you buy, that's tax deductible. These are things that you're marketing, that you're growing, that you're investing in yourself, in your business, and getting the benefit. Training, going out to conferences, treating this business that you're investing into it so it can pay you. And that's something that I notice many people, because they don't track it, that they just don't even think about it and don't realize at the end of the year how big that equals. And so the whole point of this is being able to say to somebody, those 5 categories right there, that these are all things that you're doing currently, but yet you're not getting any benefit of it because you're an employer, a W-2 wage earner. So to be able to say how much money, have you ever wondered how much money you might be losing each month by not being in a home-based business? Well, if I can walk you through a couple of those categories, then click calculate savings. Oh, it just logged me out.
While you're doing that, let me throw in something that is what most people they really don't get it. I mean, they'll see the number that's going to pop up here, but what really makes all this possible is that the home office deduction is a big portion of that is things that are normally not deductible. They're basically personal expenses that you now get to take a percentage of and deduct as if they were business expenses. And that's the real gift, if you want to look at it that way, from the government, because now you're actually getting to make tax deductible things that you're going to spend money on anyway.
Yes. I mean, I hope you guys are getting this. This is, to me, this should be blowing many of your minds, because what Tom's talking about, this is not tax evasion. This is not running away with things. These are things that are given to you, but yet people are so scared of taxes that they don't do anything about it. And I wanted to make that clear distinction earlier about CPAs and EAs and being a tax professional, knowing taxes, because if your tax profession, your tax advisor is telling you, no, you can't take these things, you got to fire them. That's just plain and simple. You got to fire them. You're losing money. So you need to go find somebody like Tom and get where you've got a partner. You've got somebody that can help you in your business. Just like in any business that I start, you have a financial person, you have an operations person, you have salespeople, you have people that manage and help you grow your business. And the taxes accounting, this is something strongly recommend that you make sure that you've got the right partner. So when I just calculate savings, you see the nation's averages, it's about $484.63 per month. So just taking kind of average numbers that of taking things that I was currently doing that I wasn't getting any benefits of the tax benefits, and now moving it to where I'm getting the benefits. I mean, let's say close to $500 a month. That's a game changer for most people. I think I read somewhere that 70% of all bankruptcies could have been avoided by an extra $300 per month. Okay, we're talking 500. Let's cut it in half. 300, 250 a month, and that's by getting into that business. And so the whole point of it is saying, hey, I'm going to keep more money on my next paycheck. That's going to give me money to get into my home-based business. And so there's really no out-of-pocket expense. Now I can start working my business. I can start spending time and sharing what I just learned and what you just learned. And I can share that with other people and get people to join my business. Now I'm making money on top of it. And at the end of the year, when I go in to file my taxes or, do my taxes with Tom, I can look at all of my expenses, the things that I went to conferences, when, all my travel, all of my mileage, all of those things that I'm tracking, I now can deduct those, offset what I took on each paycheck. And now I'm hoping that I come out around even. I don't want to give more money to the government to have an interest-free loan. I'd much rather have more of that in my pocket to help me make more money. And that should be your goal also. Is that correct, Tom?
Oh, it's absolutely correct.
So you guys, I wanted to get the expert on the call. We're coming up to about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. So we'll kind of wrap it up here. But I wanted to make sure you guys understood, with all of the craziness and posts that I'm seeing on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I mean, it's something that I wanted to cut through the chaos. I wanted to bring you right to the expert to give you the real story. And again, what we just talked about today are just some of the core of what I found that people can benefit immediately. There's so many more. There's, like Tom talked in general office, there's so many more deductions that you can receive for being a self-employed entrepreneur, that you just got to make sure you've got the right partner. You've got somebody that's supporting you, not only, financially, but also your dream. That's another thing, getting into, do you have somebody that treats you in your direct sales business that you're a legitimate business? I can't tell you how many times I hear people go, my tax advisor laughs at me and tells me, why do I keep doing that scammy stuff? You need somebody that believes in what you're doing and is going to support you in building that dream. The tax advisor or your spouse. I mean, those are two. It's like, make sure that they're on the same side of the line with you. So, Tom, is there any other, as we close, how can people contact you? Maybe give your contact information. I know that you do a review of people's past years. If you feel like your tax advisor isn't getting you what you deserve as far as your returns, or at the end of the year, I'll let Tom mention it, but you can get a review of the last few years to see if you got everything that you deserve. And Tom, I'll turn it over to you to kind of any last words, and how do people contact you?
Well, the best way to contact us is directsellerstaxexpert.com. Our phone number is 866-282-3127, toll free. One thing I would like to throw in, that's we've also heard a considerable amount of misinformation about the new tax rules. And basically, as you can see, there's virtually nothing that's going to dramatically impact the deductions that we're entitled to. But as far as the taxes themselves, the rates, the brackets have gone down a couple of percent, so that's definitely in our favor. Also, the fact that in your Schedule C or your S Corp, or if it had to be in a partnership, as far as the business is concerned, the 20% of your profit is actually going to be taxed at a zero rate. So that's going to be a big plus. And you couple that with the rate reduction, virtually most everybody, and there's other things in there that are going to help reduce taxes, but almost everyone is going to see a difference. And there are some things that can be done, for example, in the high tax states like New Jersey, New York, California, Illinois, Connecticut, where you're not going to be able to deduct but $10,000 against your state income tax or your plus your property tax. You can actually take the $10,000 in your state income tax, and then the property tax, you can actually add that onto the basis of your house, which is that would be like as if you paid $20,000 or 20 whatever that percentage is that you didn't get to deduct. That you get to add that to the basis of the house, so that when you ultimately sell it, if you were going to have to end up paying some capital gains tax, that would reduce it, that figure. So you're not losing it in a sense. You're not having to, and you can carry it forward as long as you need to. So that's a big plus, and that didn't come out of the new law. That's just been in the rules for years and years, and it just now begins to make more sense for a lot of people. So
awesome. Well, you guys, I hope you got some value. I got some clarity on what benefits with the new tax laws. Again, make sure that and again, one thing I want to make very clear is the last thing we want you doing is going out and giving tax advice. That isn't the intent of this, that you watch this webinar and you're now a tax advisor. That is not the intent. What we wanted to make clear is that all the tax benefits that you had previously, those still with these new tax laws and many more and some less, some a lot more, that you still get all of those same benefits. The Rocket Recruiting, we wanted to make sure that everybody from a tax professional showed you that you still get all of these tax benefits with the tax savings calculator. And again, we'd love to do more of these calls. We're going to put this inside the back end on the training of Rocket Recruiting, so you guys can log in and go watch this anytime. And again, if you have questions, touch base with Tom, touch base with his company. Amazing. I partnered with them for 10 plus years, and they're passionate about direct sellers, and they're passionate about network marketing, of just that as a legitimate business, and really helping direct sellers make their business profitable. So thank you so much, Tom, for your time. Really appreciate you jumping on. I know you're extremely busy, and excited for people to connect with you, excited to bring you back on another call. So I thank you, everyone. Go to rocketrecruitingapp.com if you haven't already gone there and are not a member. We have lots of tools and training inside the system. Excited to connect with you on a future call. Thanks, everyone.